So, Mr. Mac, we just laid down our whole podcast for Monday morning. We went over all of the options that Justin Verlander may have. Will he go to the Dodgers? The Blue Jays are still in on him. Will he go to the Mets? Of course, we hit stop on our record button there, and I've got like 8 texts from people being like, holy shit, Verlander to the Mets. And I'm like, oh, of course, as we're doing it, right?
That's the way she goes.
Way she goes. So hello, everybody. This is The Walk Off. We're a Blue Jays focused podcast. I'm Scott Belford, joined as always by the best co-host in the biz, Adam Mack, and the biggest free agent pitching domino has just fallen. What does this mean going forward? Because he got paid, my dude.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Passan breaking the news that right-hander Justin Verlander and the New York Mets are in agreement on a contract. That contract looks to be 2 years, $86 million, so an AAV of $43 million a year. No word if there is a third-year option. That is a possibility, maybe a mutual option or something like that. As details come out, we'll figure that out. Cy Young Award winner for the American League this year, coming off Tommy John surgery at 39 years old. And Justin Verlander is reunited with Max Scherzer. Back to the Tigers days, way back.
It's he's off the books. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of glad that we can end the Blue Jays in on him speculation. Mm-hmm. We could set our sights elsewhere. Carlos Rodon, perhaps.
Carlos Rodon, now the biggest free agent on the pitching market, the most sought after, the highest end dude that you can go out and get.
Look, this is the GM winter meetings. This is what it's all about, right? So
some news though, buddy. Finally
some news. Yes, finally some news.
And I think this will signal a flurry of moves over the next 48 hours.
I think so too. So stay tuned. It's exciting. I'm glad that it's finally starting to go.
The New York Mets missing out on Jacob deGrom. Of course, he went to the Texas Rangers on a massive, insane deal, especially for a guy with the injury problems of deGrom. And so, you know what? The Mets had offered 3 years to deGrom, around the same. And I think that if you're going to take the risk of signing a Jacob deGrom, I think the risk of signing 40-year-old Justin Verlander probably is even less than
you're probably right.
Jacob deGrom. So they've got their stud at the top of the order again. Justin Verlander, 2 World Series, a couple Cy Young Awards. The guy is truly a Hall of Fame pitcher joining this Mets rotation, and they look pretty deadly. We'll see where the Mets go from here, but I mean, having Scherzer and Verlander at the top of your rotation, I think any organization in baseball would gladly take that.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to the Mets. They missed out on Jacob deGrom, and I think Verlander's going to replace him nicely in that rotation. So I don't think they're going to notice any sizable setback in pitching next year.
So, Adam, with seeing this free agent pitching market shape up the way it is, and I think it's even a little bit beefier than folks had expected. And when I say that, I mean just guys are getting paid. I mean, we talked about the fact Matt Boyd got $10 million, and now we're watching these high-end guys. I mean, deGrom getting over $200 million. We're watching Justin Verlander just under $100 million for 2 years. Rodon, I think he's going to be north of $150 million. I don't think there's much out there that would say any differently. I mean, people expected him to get around 120, 130, but I think we're going to see 6 years, 160, 170 now after you're seeing where this market's at. So my question for you is, do the Blue Jays bolster their rotation through trade? It's looking more and more like that might be the way to go and go free agency for an outfielder.
Yeah, that's probably the way to do it.
Time will tell, but prices are hefty out there for pitching.
Yep. Well, I'm just glad he's not with the Yankees. So
Tip of the hat to that thought. Absolutely.
Call that a win.
Justin Verlander, a New York Met, not Yankee, thank goodness. Really looks good for the Mets at the top end of their rotation. We'll see what happens going forward. Starting pitching. That market's moving. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Cheers.